Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
We begin today with a whistleblower story we have been following for you. Several of you have reached out to our whistleblower hotline asking for us to investigate what appears to be a racist Snapchat group from students at NDSU. We took your concerns, claiming that NDSU has not addressed the issue to them. And a short time ago, NDSU told our reporter Bailey Hurley they got the first report of this group on November 2nd and that it was dealt with within 48 hours. The school says they cannot get into specifics on punishments for those involved, and they add they're not sure why the issue is being brought up again. We have more on this story coming up tonight on Valley News Live, including local reaction to the post. That's tonight at 10 p.m. and through our evening newscast on valleynewslive.com. And Fargo police say the people involved in an assault yesterday afternoon at 809 10th Street South all knew each other. Cell phone video helped police find a woman named Valine Blueshield who used an axe in the assault. She was arrested along with Juan Flores, Tylando Lorick, and Cynthia Butcher. Authorities say the victim is going to be okay. And police are still asking for your help finding 16-year-old Phoenix Lindblad, who was reported missing from West Fargo yesterday. He's described as a Native American, 5'8", 210 pounds with long hair. He was last seen wearing black shoes, black pants, and a red hooded sweatshirt. If you have any information on where he may be, please call West Fargo Police at 701-433-5500. And today, Attorney General William Barr said the Justice Department has not found evidence of voter fraud that would change the 2020 presidential election. Barr said U.S. attorneys and FBI agents have been working to follow up complaints and information they've gotten, but they haven't found evidence that would change the outcome of the election. And 23-year-old Nathaniel Benton of Fargo has entered not guilty pleas to charges against him. Benton is accused of shooting and wounding 2 police officers in Wisconsin and also shooting someone in the head in downtown Fargo. Benton is charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon, and possession of a firearm by an out-of-state felon. And Ohio got its first significant winter blast today. The blanket of snow got there early this morning and caused some headaches for drivers. Travelers found themselves trying to get through and over 6 inches of snow around the Cleveland area. There are several inches of snow reported around Toledo and Columbus as well, and several parts of the state are under a winter storm warning through tomorrow morning. And that Ohio snow brings us back to a year ago today. Take a look at this. This time last year, Fargo saw at least 7 inches of snow. This video is from parts of the valley, including Frazee, Minnesota. Quite the difference we're seeing today with temps above average for this time of year. And speaking of weather, Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson is here to give us a first look at our forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, temperatures near 35 to 40 degrees beats that snowy look anytime if you're asking me. But we do have some changes to talk about as we go through our Tuesday. Here is a look at what those changes are. A few clouds across North Dakota being caused by a cool push of air that's working its way through. Still clear skies showing up on the satellite out to the east in Minnesota. Here's a look at wind speeds. And one thing about winds, the winds can help us tell exactly where the leading edge of a cool front or cold front is. Notice the southerly flow in Fargo, Grand Forks, and our eastern counties in Minnesota, while northwest winds are gusty out in the western Dakotas. The wind shift you will see first, the temperatures will follow. So Hutch's analysis shows that cool front pushing into the James River Valley, but it's not impacting your temperatures. Take a look at these. 41 still in Jamestown, even though the cool front is pushed through. So this cool front is dry for the most part, and it will bring some clouds and some gusts of wind into your evening. That's what we have to plan for here in Fargo. Increasing clouds, temperatures in the 20s for most of our evening, with winds that'll be southerly shifting to the northwesterly direction. That wind shift will denote when the cool front pushes through. Similarly, we'll see the same thing in Grand Forks, 20s and increasing clouds for most of our evening. Now, the cool front will bring a chance of some flurries and some changes in your midweek forecast. I'll have details on that here, Callie, in a few moments.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. And a 55-year-old man is now sentenced to 21 years in prison for sexually abusing an incapacitated person on the Spirit Lake Indian Reservation. Today, U.S. District Court Chief Judge Peter Welty sentenced 55-year-old Paul Henry Kavanaugh to serve 21 years and 8 months in federal prison. On August 14th, a jury found Kavanaugh guilty after he reportedly got an 18-year-old woman drunk and was doing sexual acts on her when she was asleep. Kavanaugh will be also supervised on release for life and is ordered to pay $100 in special assessment to the Crime Victims Fund. And as the country awaits emergency authorization for several coronavirus vaccines, a CDC advisory panel will meet today to decide who should get vaccinated first. The panel is going to advise that the country's 21 million healthcare workers should get a vaccine before anyone else. Residents of nursing homes and other long-term care facilities are also likely to be first in line. Other priority groups would be essential workers and adults with underlying medical conditions. Each state will decide how vaccines are given out, and officials say it will take several months to immunize everyone who wants to get the vaccine. Both Pfizer and Moderna have applied for emergency use authorization, and the FDA will review Pfizer's vaccine on December 10th and Moderna's on the 17th. And a new study suggests COVID-19 made its way to the U.S. sooner than first thought. The virus was first identified in China in December of last year, but the first case was not in the U.S. until it was confirmed on January 19th. CDC researchers found coronavirus antibodies in 39 blood donation samples from California, Oregon, and Washington collected in mid-December. Also, 67 samples from Connecticut, Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Rhode Island and Wisconsin had antibodies before widespread outbreaks in those states. However, widespread transmission likely didn't arrive until late February. And presumptive President-elect Joe Biden introduced his new economic team today. Biden was joined by presumptive Vice President-elect Kamala Harris to introduce the team, led by his Treasury Secretary nominee Janet Yellen. If confirmed, Yellen would be the first woman to hold the office. Biden stressed his economic team will work hard to create an American economic recovery for all and once again restore the backbone of the country, the middle class.
A first-rate team that's going to get us through this ongoing economic crisis and help us build the economy back, not just build it back, but build it back better than it was before.
Biden also says the team will move forward with creating jobs, raising incomes, and reducing drug prices. And as if the year 2020 couldn't get any worse, can you imagine your home being vandalized 7 times since March? That's what happened to one Minnesota grandma, and some of it was caught on camera. Charmaine Nero shows us the video.
Sean Mosley's 89-year-old mother, Frances, has called this house near Lake Nokomis home for the past 5 decades.
It's a mixed community, but I think she's one of the longest residing residents here.
A home where she's always felt protected, safe. That's until this March, when Mosley says vandals smashed several windows in the home. Thankfully, they haven't tried to go inside. The same vandals Mosley says targeted his mother's home again in May, June, September, and October. The 7th act of vandalism happening on Thanksgiving Day. November 26th, Thanksgiving morning, around 12:08, the person who has been vandalizing my mom's house, they struck again. Mosley says he believes his mother's home is being targeted. He says it appears in surveillance video the same people are committing the crime. The way they walk, the way they hold themselves, the dress, the attire. Mosley says his mother keeps to herself and rarely goes outside. Thankfully, he says neighbors living nearby have pitched in to help with surveillance footage and donations to replace the broken windows. Each time we've added active security measures, so we've added cameras, floodlights, shatter alarms to the windows, but each one of those things has not caused the person to pause. While he says the suspects usually wear ski masks and gloves to hide their identity, he's hoping they're caught soon so his 89-year-old mother won't have to worry about someone vandalizing her home in the wee hours of the night. My mom is a grandmother. She's never really done anything to anyone. It's just totally uncalled for and unnecessary. I think the person needs help to do something like this on Thanksgiving, and that,
eventually they will get caught.
In Minneapolis, Charmaine Nero, KARE 11 News.
A spokesperson with the Minneapolis Police Department says they are investigating the case. And health experts say Thanksgiving brought the highest number of travelers to the airport since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, health officials say they anticipate surging cases throughout the first 3 weeks of December. Health experts say there are a couple of things you can do now to help prevent the surge within a surge. They are encouraging people to get a COVID-19 test within 3 to 5 days upon returning home, quarantine for at least 7 days, and to be on the lookout for symptoms. And of course, if you test positive for the virus, be sure to let those you spent the holiday with know. And the disappointment continues for Cher fans who were hoping to see her at the Fargo Dome. First it was postponed, but now the singer's Here We Go Again tour has been canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For more information on how to get a ticket refund, log into our website at valleynewslive.com. And today is Giving Tuesday, and there's a way for you to help people in our community. The Fargo-Moorhead Area Foundation is in the middle of its Caring Catalog campaign, which raises money for nonprofits in the area. They plan on giving $15,000 to participating organizations and will match the first $13,000 in donations, up to $500 per donor. For more information, log onto our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. And remember that Valley News Live is teaming up with the Great Plains Food Bank for a virtual food drive. From food to personal hygiene products and diapers, there are a number of items you can purchase and donate right from your phone. Just download our VNL News app, look for the virtual food drive, and click to donate. And the mystery continues. Remember that piece of metal that randomly showed up in a Utah desert? Well, now there's on the other side. It's on the other side of the world in Romania. We'll have the latest on that story coming up.
And last year at this time, there was a lot of snow across the valley. This guy, I'm not sure he was appreciating it. Alicia shared a sat photo last year. And do we know what happened to the dinosaurs? This was last year in the Southern Valley. Today, a little nicer. Your forecast is next.